Hari Bol further. Hari Bol. So now we will be going to the last part of Dhruva Mahārāj. In between there are chapters where he is getting the kingdom. He is ruling there for 36,000 years. And if you remember, Lord had foretold and predicted what is going to happen to his brother and what is going to happen to Suruchi. Right? It was already predicted. And the same thing happened. His brother got killed by yakshas and mother went behind her and she was searching and she became mad and she also died. But here Dhruva Mahārāj became very agitated, very angry. Even though he had known, but as a brother he came on a material level. How can somebody kill my brother? I will take revenge. Who is doing this? Dhruva Mahārāj is doing. So one thing you should understand, there will be certain situations in your life where you suddenly will come down to your original, अपना असली स्वरूप दिखा दोगे. अभी मैं भक्त भक्त नहीं. Or there may be some situations in your life which your past Kshatriya, your past whatever your nature is there will be coming out. Whether it is a Tamasi nature, whether it is a Rajasi nature, or whether it is a Sattvic nature. If it is a Rajasi nature, then you will try to handle everything in the form of money, in the form of prestige. I should get prestige, I should get name, I should get some status, in devotion life also. And in Tamasi, if the nature comes out, then you will start finding faults, you will start finding, blame game, you will start finding, there will be certain situations. So here, when he heard that his brother died, he immediately took what? All the astras and went toward and attacked. And it was so vicious. The fighting was so vicious that it is described. We are not taking that chapter because today we are going to start the ultimate chapter where Dhruva Mahārāj left प्लेन आया और प्लेन लेके गया, जिसके लिए हम सब प्रार्थना करते हैं कि हमारे लिए भी एक दिन प्लेन आवे. That is the goal of life, that one should get a guru, then he does the sadhana bhakti, then the bhava bhakti should come, then the prema bhakti comes, and after prema bhakti the fruit is going back to Godhead. This is what we are preparing. So are we fit to go back? And what are the qualities which are mentioned? And how nicely, in this chapter it is mentioned that, this Nanda Sunanda is coming, the aeroplane is coming, and how his body is getting transformed, and very nicely it is detailed, in this chapter is written. So, we feel so happy, in devotion life, when somebody progresses in devotion life, they feel very happy. But in jnana marg, in karma marg, when somebody progresses, they become jealous or they try to pull down. But in devotion life, they feel very happy. Sometimes, Radha Govind Mahārāj used to joke कि हमारे ब्रह्मचारी आश्रम में, at the 4 o'clock it is Mangala Aarati is getting up is compulsory. So, everybody wakes up. Hey, utho, 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 utho. Sometimes, one person wakes up all the person and he himself go to sleep. बोलते हैं आप जाओ. So, here in this chapter we get lot of hope. And yes, definitely, the fruit of going, which is the goal of a human life, to go back, Ante Narayana Spriti, and go back where we belong to. So this chapter is a hope. But before that, in this chapter, Dhruva Mahārāj, now he's leaving, he's showing anger form. Which form? Kshatriya form, Raja form, and is fighting for his brother. And so viciously the fight is going on. He's killing hundreds and thousands of yakshas for his brother. And ultimately Swayambhu, his grandfather, had to come and stop. Manu had to come and stop. Hey, what are you doing? It's not right for a devotee like you to act in such a way, such a anger. It's not at all suiting you. And sometimes, everybody may know some philosophy, but when sometimes it comes to practical application, सब वो philosophy बाजू में रह जाती है. हाँ? So, that is what Dhruva Mahārāj. See, sometimes क्या होता है, सीट बहुत खराब है, सीट का असर हो जाता है. Now he came in the power to Dhruva Mahārāj. He is king, so to control and all that work he has to do. And in that anger came. How can they kill? He knew that it's already destined. It was already destined that because of the aparad, Lord had decided that they both have to die in such a way. But now he forgot all that thing and he was in the which bhav? King. Kshatriya bhav. And he is acting like a Kshatriya warrior. And what he is doing? He is going on the killing sphere. And that is condemned by Manu Mahārāj. And then Manu Mahārāj gives him the message. So, he tells, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. So, Manu Mahārāj tells that this is not right. So, one thing, immediately Dhruva Mahārāj stopped the war. That is the difference between a devotee and an asura. For Ravana, when Sita was captured, all tried to explain. Return Sita, Mandodari tried, Kumkaran tried, all tried, everybody tried. But what happened? Ulta, uska krodh बढ़ गया, ego बढ़ गया. But here we find that if he is a real devotee and if he's been explained by some senior, then he will correct himself. He immediately correct himself and understands, yes, this is my mistake. And that is what Dhruva Mahārāj immediately accepted. Yes, I should not have done this killing. And he left that anger. So, that is the difference between Asura Bhav and Bhakta. That even though sometimes he makes mistakes, but if it is some senior corrects him, he will immediately accept what? His mistake and try to. If he is not a devotee, then what he will do? Argue. Like Vena Mahārāj. You know Vena Mahārāj? Nimi Mahārāj, Nimi. That how he argued with he was on the position of the king. And all the rishis were coming and tried to explain that you should not do this. Then he says, I am king and I am God. Yes, you should know the Shastra is saying. What? He gives Shastra Praman. What? that Raja को भगवान मानना चाहिए. I am Bhagavan, so my words are Bhagavan. And then the rishis give the shrap, and immediately they curse him and he dies. And then from that body, the churning was done of the vein, and two people came out. The Pap came up. And the Pap came in the form of Nishad. The Nishad Jati is there. Batke rehte hai, jungle mein rehte hai. Nishad, they are dwarfs and so they are called as Papa Yoni, Nishad. So they came first black. So that Pap came from the Manthana of Nimi Mahārāj. And then vein. And then Prithu Mahārāj, Lord came in the form of Prithu Mahārāj. So when the Manthan is done, what is done? First the Pap will come out. Whether you take Sagar Manthan or this Manthan. Or in our life also, when you start Manthan मतलब हरे कृष्णा मंत्र का मंथन चालू करो तो जितना हमारा स्वभाव है ना बाहर आता है. हमारी हैबिट्स बाहर आती है. It will happen in our life that all the bad things will come out when you start taking holy name. We know that Lord had to dance on the Kaliya very heavily, and then the Kaliya, all the poison came out. All the poison. Similarly, unless and until we do not make Lord dance on our tongue, on our Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Minimum 16 rounds. How much? Standard is 64 rounds. What is standard? 64. Standard means 35 marks is 64 rounds. Grace mark is 16 rounds. So that many times you chant, then the poison come out. So here we see that immediately Dhruva Mahārāj, being a devotee, what happens? He accepted, he folded and immediately stopped that vicious war. And seeing that quality of a devotee, Yaksha comes under Kuvera. Yaksha comes under Kuvera is the treasurer of Devata. And then Kuvera comes and pleased and gives the blessings. That is what we are going to start today. So let's read the chapter number 12. Please take out chapter number 12, text number 1. Who will be reading? Shloka. Canto 4, chapter 12. Dhruva Mahārāj goes back to Godhead. Please read the shloka.
What is the shloka number?
Text number 1.
4.12.
Yeah.
Maitreya Uvacha.
Maitreya Uvacha. Dhruvam nivrittam pratibudhya vaishasa. Dapte tamanyu Bhagavan Dhaneshwara. Tatagatascha charana yaksha kinnare. Sanstuyamano nayavada kritanjali. Translation.
The great sage Maitreya said, "My dear Vidura, Dhruva Mahārāj's anger subsided and he completely ceased killing yakshas. When Kuvera, the most blessed master of the treasury, learned this news, he appeared before Dhruva while being worshipped by yakshas, kinnaras and chanas. He spoke to Dhruva Mahārāj, who stood before him with folded hands.
Yeah. This is one of the etiquette that one should learn.
in the front of senior. Even though Dhruva Mahārāj is a great devotee, but then also, if Devatas also come, some respected person is always there standing, folding hand. This is one of the etiquettes of a Vaishnava. Vaishnava Sadachar, what we called as? There is one shlok which I learned today in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Amara Gaur, Ami Gaura, matlab we are Gaudiyas. That is not going to work. Means Ami Gaudiya, that is not going to work. You have to follow the Achar and Vichar of Gauranga, then you are a Gaudiya. What is the Achar? What the Achar Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed, the devotee showed, that Acharan means Vaishnava etiquettes you have to show in your life. Plus Vichar. Vichar means the consciousness. Your mentality should be of a pure devotee. Anya bhilashita shunya jnana karmadi anavritam
Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam Bhakti. That is Vichar. So if Achar and Vichar are there, then you are Gaudiya. Then you follow the parampara. Just by taking the dress or putting tilak, you are not becoming a devotee. Main is your behavior. And that is what we see, that even in the
furious battle, he is showing his etiquettes, and that is pleasing Kuvera. Please read the second verse.
Bho
Kshatriya Dayada Paritushto Asmite Anadha
Yatvam Pita Mahādesha Vairam Dushyajam Tyaja. Translation. The master of the treasury, Kuvera, said, O sinless son of Kshatriya, I am very glad to know that under the instruction of your grandfather, you have given up your enmity. Although it is very difficult to avoid, I am very pleased with you.
Yeah. So, again this quality is there, that he saw that enmity, to leave the enmities is very difficult. And that's why Lord clearly says in the Bhagavad Gita, who is very, very dear to me, in the 12th chapter. And the first quality, Adveshta. What he says? The 12.13 verse. Adveshta sarva bhutanam. Bolo. Maitriya karuna evacha. Nirmama nirahankara. Sama dukkha sukha shami. Santushta satatam yogi. Yadatma dradhanishchaya. Mai arpita mano buddhi. Yo madbhakta same priya. So the first quality Lord mentions is Adveshta. Even if there is some enemy, that enemy doesn't remain inside him. That enviousness came or that enmity came, but it doesn't stay in the heart of a, he immediately leaves it. Whatever it happens. We know in one time in Pandharpur there was one katha about a devotee, that he was going for a bath and one person was spitting on him. Spitting. And he told he was going for his puja and then he spit. Then he again went and took a bath. Again came and again spit. It went for around 40 times. And after 40 times he felt ashamed. And he felt on the leg and says, how can you tolerate? He said, thank you very much. Every day I used to take bath for one time. Today I took, Chandrabhaga 40 times because of you. You are great. So this are be called, when Jesus was crucified. Yes, he was not blaming them. Please forgive them. Please forgive them. Please forgive them. Haridas, when beaten severely, what was he saying? Hey Lord, please forgive them. So it can't come in one day, all these qualities. Adveshta. So here, seeing that quality, Kuber was very pleased. And then he says it's very difficult. Jealousy and enviousness to leave is very difficult. Very difficult. And it can only come when you do proper sadhana and blessings. If you are doing proper sadhana and blessing is there, then you are able to live, this. And that's why Lord says, this is first quality that one has to live. Dveshta. And seeing this quality, he was pleased. Who? Kuber. Now the topic that we are going to discuss because this will go for 2 classes. But today what is the main topic that we are going to discuss? Dhruva Mahārāj was destined to go to, because of his tapasya and the blessings and from the Lord himself, that at the end of the life, he will be going. But he never boosted himself or never, he was always humble. What was he? Always humble, always tolerant, and always that qualities we will be reading, that qualities that he was showing all the time. So, Dhruva Mahārāj. And we will see, being Kuber satisfied, Kuber says, I will give you benediction. Please ask benediction. Please ask benediction. And then very nicely, Dhruva Mahārāj is contemplating what I should ask. And then he folds his hand and he tells, if you want, I should remember Lord Avichala, means without any disturbance throughout my life. The remembrance of the Lord should be there in all situations. And the devotion should remain intact. So here we find one quality that the devotee is not, hey, मेरे को तो भगवान ने पहले ही वरदान दिया, तुम क्या वरदान दोगे? ऐसे भी बोल सकते ना? Who are you? You are nothing. I am much greater. No. On the path of devotion, as I always tell you, that 2 things are required to bind the Lord. 2 fingers story. Your mercy. Mercy is required and your efforts. What is required? Only by your efforts. It is impossible that you will reach God or you will reach back to the spiritual world. With that, you require mercy of everybody. Especially the devotees. Especially the devatas. Your father, mother, everybody's blessings is all the, Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, what is tapasya? What is sharirik tapasya? Sharirik tapasya means bending down in front of Guru, in front of Brahmana, in front of Vaishnava, in front of seniors. Maintaining celibacy. That is sharirik tapasya. What is it? So, unless and until the blessing is not there, वो कोटा होना चाहिए blessings. The blessing should be in such a way, भगवान मेरे को मत लेके जाओ लेकिन इस डिवोटी को जरूर लेके जाओ, because ये आपके लिए अच्छा काम करेगा वहाँ पे. That should be the blessings that should be coming out from the heart of the devotees. And that only comes when you do seva. Muchkund story. We know Muchkund story. Muchkund entire life he served the devatas. He was fighting on their behalf. And when the war finished, the devatas are saying, what benedictions we can give you? He says, I do not want anything. I do not want anything. But if you really want, I am tired. Give me one a boon that I can take sleep. And if somebody disturbs, he should get burnt. Tadhastu. But that is not the end. When you do Vaishnav Seva, it doesn't go fail. So that after resting also, Lord wanted to give him the credit. Lord wanted to give him the fruit of his seva by coming and giving him personal darshan and glorifying, Muchkund by giving the seva. What seva he had done? He was doing the fighting seva and killing the asuras. So he wanted, by sleeping, he should be also kill the Kalyavana and take the credit that yes, you killed. So that is what, even in this life, Muchkund was not doing anything. He was just sleeping. But Lord, what he had done in the past life, Lord wanted to give him the credit because he didn't wanted anything in return. And that is what we called unalloyed devotional service. And that is what we find over here. So, in our spiritual life, we require blessings of everybody. You cannot bypass, the blessings, mercy. So here we find, yes, devatas are there and we should respect the devatas. What to respect? A Vaishnava respect an ant also. He respects an ant also. Then what to speak about the heavenly? Sometimes there is a misconception. I have become Krishna devotee. क्या? So मेरे को अभी देवताओं से कोई लेना देना, देवताओं से कोई लेना देना नहीं, क्योंकि मैं कृष्णा डिवोटी बन गया. That should not be. We know that gopis, when they are 3 years, 4 years old, to have Krishna, they did Katyani Vrat. 1 month Katyani Vrat, entire 1 month they did. Just only to have. We know Rukmani Devi, how she worshipped Durga to have Krishna. We go to devatas only for one reason, that our bhakti increase. When we go to Shivaji over there, we should pray, hey Shivaji, you are Mahadev, you are Adi Vaishnava, Vaishnava Naam Yatha Shambho. Please bless us. Please bless us that my bhakti increases. We know Narsi Mehta. Why he became Narsi Mehta? Because of blessing of Shivaji. Because of Shivaji. So whenever you go to any devata, we should respect that position and we should pray. If we are going to Ganesha Dev, see, when you come, Mukteshwar there, you should tell Mukteshwar, he is a Kshetra Devata. Wherever Krishna temple is there, Shivji is always there outside. Whether anywhere you take. It is Badrinath, then Kedar is there. If Dwarka is there, Nageshwar is there. If there is what you called as Bhalka Tirth, where Lord fighting Prabhas Kshetra, Somnath is there. You take Govind Devji temple, Jaipur, outside there, Shivji temple is there. He is called a Kshetrapal. Without him, it's impossible. We have to understand the positions of the Devata in respect with the Lord. And that way, entire Brahma Samhita, Brahmaji gives the relationship. Yachakshureshu savita sakala grahanam Raja samasta suramurti ashesha teja Yasyagyaya brahmade sambrita kala chakro Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Hey Suryadev, you are eyes of the Lord. What are you? And that's why I am doing the Jalagrahan to you. What? Where does the problem arise? When you understand the Devata to be independent and of the Lord and thinking that He is giving all the things. Then in Bhagavad Gita that shloka comes, avidhi purvakam. What he says, Lord? That it is not a proper vidhi to understand. Then Lord says, then why the people do Devata Bhakti? The Devata Bhakti is done because Lord says clearly in the 7th chapter, all the 4 verses, Kame stete rita jnana, bolo. Prapadyante anya devata tam niyama astaya prakritya niyata swaya yo yam tanum bhakta shraddhaya architum ichchate tasya chalam shraddha tamameva vidadhamyaham sataya shraddhaya yuktasya aradhanam yihite labhate tad kaman mayyeva vihitan hita. Lord Krishna clearly says in these 3 verses, Kame stete rita jnana. Because of the different desires of Rajogun and Tamogun, Kame stete rita jnana. Their jnana, their knowledge has finished. They have multiple desires. Kame stete rita jnana prapadyante anya devata. They take shelter according to their nature. Kame stete rita jnana prapadyante anya devata tam niyama astai. They will take the puja part according because they want to fulfill their desire. Then what says? Kame stete rita jnana prapadyante anya devata tam niyama astai prakritya niyasa yo yam tanum bhakta shraddhaya architum ichchati tasya chalam shraddham tamameva. So in this shloka Lord says, who with the shraddha does the devata puja, I see that his shraddha is situated in that devata. I situate that shraddha in that devata and they get that benediction from that devata. But actually I am providing the benediction. That is what Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, why devatas go. But being devotee, we have to connect the devatas with Krishna. Whenever you see the Vayu, then you have to understand it is the breathing of the Lord. What is it? Breathing of the Lord. It is the breathing of the Lord. When you see Surya Devata, you have to see it is the eyes of the Lord. When you see the cloud, you have to understand it is the hair of the Lord. When you see, the fire, Agni Dev, you have to understand it is the tongue of the Lord. The fire is there. So each and every Devata has to be connected. When we see the Parvata, this thing, we have to understand they are the bones of the Lord. When we see the Ganga, Yamuna rivers, we have to understand they are the veins of the Lord. Virat Rupa. Nothing is disconnected with Krishna. That way, when we are drinking water, then we have to take that shloka. Raso aham apsuko anteya prabha asmi shashi suryo pranava sarva vedeshu shabdah ke paurusham. That you are the taste in the water, Lord. You are the Om in the Vedas. That is how one devotee connects with the Lord. He doesn't make it independence. When he does the Ganesha Devata, Ganesha Puja, he understands that the power of the Vignaharta. Yadapad, Brahmaji says in the Brahma, Yadapad Pallava Yugam Vinidhaya Kumbha Dvandve Samayesa Ganadhiraja Vignan Vihantu Malamasya Jagatrayasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So we have to connect Ganeshji with the Lord, that he is getting the power. He has returned the Bhagavad Gita, the entire solution for the entire humanity. Complete solution is given because he is the department head of the Vignas. So people go for temporary relief to him weekly. But he has given the complete solution in the form of Bhagavad Gita. What? By entire solution. Please adopt this. But people are not ready to take that solution. Bhagavad Gita nahi. Bapa Moriya re, Bapa Moriya re. Yeah, bas. And forget. Then only Mangalwar याद आएगा. बीच में नहीं याद आते. Means every devata. Because kame sthite dhyana. Lord clearly says. So being a devotee respects what? Not only devatas but each and every living entity. And he tries to be trinadapi sunichena tarorapi saishuna amanina manadena kirtani. Devotee's life is completely different because that is the life which is we have to live over there. Where? In the Goloka. And Lord says the qualification in the 15th chapter where Lord says that na rupasya tathoplabhyate nanto na chadi na sampradishta ashwatthaменam suvirodamulam asanga shastre dridena chitva tat padam tat parimargatavyam yasmin gata na nivartanti bhuya tameva chadyam purusham prapadye yat pravarti prasan nirmana moha jita sanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinivirta kama dvandve vimukta sukha sange gacchantya mudha padamavyayam tat. Clearly says nirmana moha jita sanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinivirta kama dvandve vimukta sukha sange gachanti amudha padamavyaya. That is the padam avyaya. Such qualities who have, he is qualified to go back to that place. No other person can go to that place. And here this life is to achieve that qualities. And that qualities will come when we sincerely follow, like Dhruva Mahārāj sincerely followed the instruction of Guru. He showed the determination to follow alone in the jungle without any facilities. No facilities. He had any facilities? He had all viparit positions. But the determination was there. What was there? The determination to chant. Similarly, we see in the life of all acharyas, they had the determination to follow the instructions what their Guru and Parampara had given. So when we follow the Guru Parampara instructions nicely in our life, then automatically our hearts get clean. Shunvatam swakatha Krishna punya shravana kirtana vidandasto hi abhadrani vidhanoti hi shuhatsata. Our heart gets cleaned. And the love in the heart and the spiritual qualities inside will automatically come up. There is no special endeavor that we have to do. So let's read further.
Na bhavanavadita yakshan.
Na bhavanavadhi yakshan.
Yaksha bhrataram tava.
Na yaksha bhataram tava. Kala eva hi bhutanam. Prabhur apyaya bhavyaya. Translation.
Actually, you have not killed the yakshas, nor have they killed your brother. For the ultimate cause of generation and annihilation is the eternal time feature of the Supreme Lord.
So here Dhruva Mahārāj, Kuverji is trying to explain that please do not blame. You should not blame yakshas, or yakshas should not blame Dhruva Mahārāj. Sometime, the time comes where, we are forced to happen. We are out of control. It's not in our control. And we know the same shloka when Bhishma Pitama is lying on the bed. For how many days? For at least 40-50 days he's lying there. Entire blood is drained out. He has nothing over there in the battlefield. Kurukshetra battlefield, he's standing there alone. He's waiting. Waiting for whom? The Lord to come. And when Lord comes, he tells Yudhishthir Maharaj, please dress yourself in the form of a king. In the form of king. And then you go to Bhishma Dev and you take all the knowledge from him. And when Bhishma, Yudhishthir Maharaj is coming with the kingly attire with all the 5 brothers, immediately he starts crying. Who? Bhishma Pitama. Why is crying?
They have suffered.
He is suffering. He is not bothered. But the quality of a Vaishnava is para dukhi dukhi. Seeing the dukkha of others, he is crying. And he is remembering. See how the time is playing with you. You are Sakshat Dharmaraj. You are the, after Lord Ramachandra, if anybody's name is there in Dharma Palan, it is Yudhishthir Maharaj. You are Sakshat Dharma following. You have Arjuna, cannot be defeated by anybody. You have Bhima, the most powerful person. And you have Sahadeva and Nakul to guide, the Buddhiman. And above all this, you have Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead standing with you. And then also, how much suffering you had to suffer? How much? What can I say about it? Everything is there, but then also so much suffering. You are poisoned, you are sent to forest, your entire thing is stolen. So many. Kunti Mata says in all that shloka in the Kundi Stuti. Very nicely she explains. Visha, Agni, Mahāragni. So many astras, so many difficulties. It is only time. What is it? So sometime we have to play with the time. जैसा time वैसा चलना पड़ता है. If we go against the time, it will always. अगर बड़ा बुरा time है तो शांति से बैठो. ज़्यादा उछलो. कोविड आ गया. बिठा दिया ना everybody को. शांति से सबको बिठा दिया, break down कर दिया. So we have to run as per time क्या? So that is what here is trying to say. Who? Kuber. That it is not your fault. It is not. Sometimes certain times comes that we have to adjust. What was wrong with Yudhishthir Maharaj or Arjuna or Bhima? Lord is there. Then also they had to so severely suffer. And that is why he is crying. And then he is saying, then he is happy to see him, in the dress. And then he gives all the Gyan. The Raj Dharma, all the Dharma knowledge he is giving there. The Sahasranam also comes in the Mahabharata. Was sung by Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Pitama, the Sahasranam, Vishnu Sahasranam also was given. Okay, we read further, Prabhuji.
Aham tvam iti aparthadhira.
Aham tvam iti aparthadhira.
Ajnanata purushasya hi.
Ajnana.
Swapni vabhati atadhyanat.
Swapni abhata atadhyanat.
Yaya bandha vipiryayo.
Yaya bandha viparyaha.
Translation: misidentification of oneself and others as I and you on the basis of the bodily concept of life is a product of ignorance. This bodily concept is the cause of repeated birth and death, and it makes us go on continuously in material existence.
Read the text number 5.
Tad gaccha dhruva bhadram te
Tad gaccha dhruva bhadram te
bhagvantam adokshajam
Bhagavatam adhokshajam
bhutatma bhavena
Sarvabhutatma bhavena
sarvabhutatma vigraham.
Sarvabhutatma vigraham. Translation.
My dear Dhruva, come forward. May the Lord always grace you with good fortune. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is beyond your sensory perception, is the super soul of all living entities, and thus all entities are one without distinction. Begin, therefore, to render service unto the transcendental form of the Lord, who is the ultimate shelter of all living entities.
Read the 6th number shloka.
Vajasam vajantiya rangiram.
Bhajasva bhajanya angriyam
Abhavaya bhavachidam.
Abhaya bhavachidam
Yuktam virihitam satya.
Yukta viritam sakya
Gunamayatma mayaya.
Gunamayatma mayaya. Translation.
Engage yourself fully, therefore, in the devotional service of Lord, for only He can deliver us from this entanglement of materialistic existence. Although the Lord is attached to His material potency, He is aloof from her activities. Everything in this material world is happening by the inconceivable potency of the Supreme Personality of God.
See, one thing one should understand, many people know philosophy. Ravana also knew philosophy. Hiranyakashipu, when Hiranyaks died, he gave the entire Bhagavad Gita course to their, their wife. Bhagavad Gita course did diya, 3-day Bhagavad Gita course. Yes. And he gave the example of a nice example of Yamraj. So, philosophy many people may know. So, what is the difference between knowing philosophy between Asura and devotees? Philosophy, Asura know, but they do not apply in their life. But when you apply in the life, you become devotee. What? Many people know, but they do not know to apply. And that is the problem. We may be knowing many things, but how much practically we are applying the philosophy, that makes us a devotee or a demon. That makes us a demon. So that is the difference. Ravana also knew philosophy very nicely. But application was not there. What? So devotees, main thing that distinguish, that they know the philosophy and they try to sincerely apply them in their life. We know Sanatana Goswami, when he had pus, his entire body was full of the skin disease. And Lord every day used to bring the prasad from Jagannath temple at Gambhira. We know the Gambhira and Siddhabakul are just behind. It is just 2 minutes walk. Zyada walk nahi hai, Gambhira and Siddhabakul. So Lord used to every day come and bring the prasad. So one day it was late. So asked, they waited, Lord waited. And Sanatana Goswami didn't come. And Sanatana Goswami, then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu take the prasad and went to rest. And late he came. Who? And Sanatana Goswami came, and then Govind was there. And he says, Lord waited for you. Mahaprabhu waited for you. Why you were late? So I tried my 100% to come. early, but please forgive. I started, but I reached late. And at that time, Mahaprabhu caught up. And he says, it's not far from here. There has to be some reason. He says, there is only one route coming directly from here. Another route you have to go to the sea, and then from the sea beach, from behind, then you have to come over here. So he told that I had taken the sea route. So why? He says, my body is so much, disease state, that people come from the temple on this road and they bring prasad. They are devotees. What are they? I am Muslim. I am impure. By my touching, they become impure. What? So I didn't wanted them to get touched, and that's why I took the longer route. And it was hot in the afternoon, and the entire foot become blistered. And Mahaprabhu says that your entire body is, that the only place in your body which was left was safe was your foot, and that also has now become blistered. Why you are doing this? He says, no. He says, I am the most fallen person, and I do not want to disturb others by my suffering and make them impure. Lord told that you are not impure. You make, the Devatas power. What you told? Devatas also get pavan by touching and embracing you. What to speak? And that is right. That Sanatan Goswami was a very high. We know at Chakreshwar Mahadev, in Govardhan there is Chakleshwar Mahadev. It is actually Chakreshwar Mahadev. What is that? Because Gangaji comes and Mahadev sits over there. And when he was doing the bhajana, and the mosquitoes were troubling. And he was going to leave Sanatan Goswami. So then Mahadevji came in the night. Hey, why you are going from here? He says, these mosquitoes are troubling. I can't kill them. She said, no, you should stay over here, because I came from, the Kailash over here, and I am sitting here just because you are here and you are doing the chanting. What? The Devatas come and listen to your chanting. I will tell the mosquito god not to come over here. And from next day, no mosquitoes. Even today, at that place, at Chakreshwar Mahadev, there are no mosquitoes. So what to speak about Sanatan? But the acharan is there. What is there? They are so humble. The humility is the asset of a devotee. So we will continue this thing further. So today, what were the things that we discussed? Main point. Acharan is more important than knowing the philosophy. Application is more important. What else?
Dhruva Maharaj stopped fighting because his grandfather said that he should not fight, and immediately, since he was a devotee, he gave up the Kshatriya, whatever thing he had for the.
Yes. So what lesson we learn? If we are having some bad qualities, we listen to the acharyas and senior and try to rectify it. What else?
When bad times is there, to be quiet.
हाँ, अपना टाइम के हिसाब से चलो. सिचुएशन देख के learn to forgive. No enviousness, because that is the prime quality to become a.
And everything happens with the will of the Lord.
Yes.
It's not that he is doing something, the Yakshas were doing something, or Dhruva Maharaj is doing something. It is a matter of time.
Matter of time that we have to go through it. Go through it. What else? Advaita. What else? The Devatas part which I discussed.
The Devata
Faith that is given to my.
Respect all the Devatas.
and always ask.
It is always said, जैसे पत्नी रहती है, नई पत्नी आती है तो सबकी सेवा करती है, लेकिन जो प्रेम रहता है पति के लिए वो अलग रहता है. वैसे हमारे पति कृष्ण है, बाकी सबको हमको सेवा करनी है. क्या करनी है? लेकिन हमारे पति, हमारे सर्वस्व कौन है? कृष्णा. कृष्णा एकला. बाकी सब की सेवा करनी है हमें।
Whenever we go in front of the devata, we should ask for devotion.
Devotion. Devatas, we go to devatas to get devotion. Yashoda Mata went. Chintarana Mahadev every time. We know Chintarana Mahadev. चिंता होती थी कृष्ण के लिए तो she is to go. Yes. Go to for Krishna. You know भगवान कृष्ण चतुर्भुज रूप में आए थे. You know after in the that लीला, which लीला? अपना रास लीला में नहीं, गोपी विरह गीत में जो होता है ना, गोपी गीत, when the गोपी गीत happened and Lord disappeared, so Lord came in 400 Vishnu form over there. तो उनको बोला कि भाई मेरे कृष्ण किधर है? क्या बोले? कृष्ण जब चार भुजा में आया तो उनको बोलते कृष्ण किधर है, because you are not Krishna. So that is what we go to devatas, we respect to devatas, but we only want devotional service. That is what is the main thing that, and
whatever benediction the devatas are giving to Lord Krishna, actually I am giving.
Plus we have your only efforts will not help you to mercy of whom you will require. Everybody, everyone. And how that mercy will come? By seva. By there is no other way, and the seva should be done in such a way that others should be कि भाई मेरे को नहीं चलेगा लेकिन इसको लेके जाओ, ये अच्छा सेवा करने वाला है. And in seva, the most important thing that you have to understand is aparad. Never ever do aparad. Never ever. Because if you do aparad, immediately all your credit is finished. See, we are serious people. बहुत भटक के यहाँ पे आए हैं. And we have to go back. नीचे नहीं जाना है फिर से.
Mad elephant वाला.
हाँ? We have to go back. And if we don't go back again, you know, पूरा का पूरा हमारा वो सांप सीढ़ी जैसा खेल हो जाएगा. वो 99 पे आया और फिर 1 पे आ गया. वो ऐसा मत करना. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम